Welcome back here to Mountain Connections. Thank you so much for staying tuned. My next guest is the author of this great book. It's Employee 5.0, Secrets of a Successful Job Search in the New World Order. His name is Mr. Bill Humbert. You may know him as Recruiter Guy. How are you doing today, Bill?
Diego, I'm doing great. Thank you.
Always great to see you, my friend. Before we get things started, I have to tell you, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Have you been celebrating with the family at all?
Yeah, you know, there was going to be so many candles on my cake this year. the Park City Fire Department asked me to take the party to the Midwest because they were afraid I was going to start
a little fire. Okay,
yeah.
well, we're going to be bummed to not party with you. I wanted to be there and share in that cake with you. But today we have an important topic to talk about. It's called Best Candidate Practices. And over your years as a recruiter, I'm sure you've encountered some pretty crazy experiences when it comes to people applying for positions. Let's hear about one of those kind of horror stories right now.
Well, Diego, it's amazing to me that you have people out there who don't use common courtesy.
Yeah.
And recently I had a candidate the person was in New England, and he applied for a position. I called him up, did a real quick screen, and said, okay, I'd like to spend an hour on the phone with you, really get an understanding of your knowledge. The appointed hour came, he didn't answer the phone. And so I thought, well, you know, maybe I screwed up times because Mountain Time to Eastern.
You're giving him the benefit of the doubt. You're being nice, Bill Humbert. Like,
yeah.
Hey, come on.
Right. I called him at that moment. Then I waited about 5 minutes, called him just in case he was late getting to the phone. I called him at the next hour, 2 o'clock, and he still ghosted me and has not ever returned the call.
Has not ever returned a call.
Right.
And you gave him more than one opportunity to say, look, I was late, I did something.
Right.
So that is the worst case scenario when it comes to an interview experience, because for you as the recruiter, there's probably no worse impression that you can leave than that.
Right. You know, you need to build a relationship with the recruiter.
Absolutely.
Because I'm your gatekeeper. I'm making the recommendation to the manager. And what he does not understand is I remember his name. And if he shows up with any future client applying, I'll have a nice professional conversation with him and end it with, you know, when I talked to or tried to talk to you the last time, you ghosted me.
That can't happen.
That can't happen.
And I was going to say, and the consequence is the fact that the chances are you're going to be a recruiter for another position they're going to be looking for.
Right.
And you're, as you said, the gatekeeper for those jobs. So you got to make a great first impression to really stand out amongst the field.
Right. And recruiterguy.com doesn't stay in one business. You know, I rotate from business to business to business. And he never knows where I may show up next. I could be actually in New England next.
Yeah.
And because my clients are all over the United States.
Wow.
So, you know, that's what I refer to as a fatal mistake. Don't ever do that.
Ever do the no-show and then the ghost. It was like a multiplier. That was just not good at all. So let's talk about some tips that you have for candidates to differentiate themselves from this other group. What can they do to proactively become standouts to the recruiter?
You know, Diego, that's a great question. And the reason it's a great question is most people don't understand that being a candidate, you're a salesperson. You're a salesperson for yourself.
Yes.
And if you understand you're in a sales process, then you understand you need to build a relationship not only with the recruiter, but also with the manager.
Yeah.
You know, the manager needs to feel like even if they're going the wrong way up the river, this person's going to be in there paddling away with them.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe they won't end up where they want, but at least they're trying.
Yes.
Too often what happens is a manager gets a feeling that person's going to bail on them.
Yeah, that's the last thing that they want, that insecurity.
Right. So it's important to understand that you need to build relationships, and you need to know what your own limits are too. Don't go bragging about things that you can't accomplish, because it's going to be found as soon as you get in that job.
They're going to ask you to do that. They're going to be, what, great, I can't believe you can do that. That's going to be your first task. That's a great point. I think people often do that way too much and then really pay the price for it later. I think another great question to ask is what the recruiter is expecting from the candidate. What are they looking for in that process?
Well, you know, when I speak with candidates, what I'm looking for is the the person who has the confidence that I feel that they feel they can do the job. I'm looking for the person that has the right skills. And I'm looking for people who have good transferable skills, because often when you get into a job, you're going to have to do something else that was not in the job description, and so many job descriptions are poorly written.
It's another conversation that we've had.
That's right. So I'm looking for transferable skills. You know, is this person light on their feet in case they have to be?
Adaptable.
Right.
That's great.
Right.
And as a candidate, what can I expect from the recruiter? I did an awesome job. Now it's up to the recruiter. They're the gatekeeper, as you said. What can I expect from them?
It's important for the recruiter to be candid with the candidate. There have been times, Diego, where I have interviewed a candidate or started to interview, and I got 4 questions in, and I went, you know, this is just not going to work. And I want to be honest with you. I'm not going to put you through an hour screen when I know that you're not going to be one of the players in this. Mm-hmm. And they appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's number one, candid conversations. And then the second thing is they expect the recruiter to know something about the job. And you know what? Too often, recruiters don't know about that job.
Yes.
And so it's important, one of my responsibilities is to know about the job so that I can coach that person through their interview with the manager.
That's excellent. Bill, great conversation as always. Really, really appreciate it. Again, happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
And thanks for the great tips here on best candidate practices. You can find out more information by heading to his website, recruiterguy.com, or by heading to our local bookstore here, Dolly's, and buying Employee 5.0 Secrets of a Successful Job Search in the New World Order. You won't regret it. We'll be right back with much more right here on Mountain Connections.